everybody. Welcome to Vital Action. We had a little struggle there. We started off and had to start over. But we got her fixed, I believe. How you guys doing? You guys ready to get this show on the road? Ready to get going, ready to get her done? How's everybody doing? Here we go. I got to get something else besides this drone to bring me in. I think it's time for a new one. I have another one actually I can use. There we go. Hey guys. Let me fade out my background music here. How you guys doing? It is Monday, snow day here in Virginia, southwest tip of Virginia, down here in the mountains, of course. They tell me that Wise, Virginia gets more snow than any city in Tennessee or Virginia. And I think that's probably true. And I'm sorry, guys, I started up and had to start over. Sorry. For some reason, the software put my last program up. You probably saw it said Jonathan. I had to change it because he ain't here today. How you guys doing? It's a great day. Let me just jump through and say, what's up? Hey, Barbara. There's Jane and Lynn and Kathy and what's up, Dodie? Good to see you, man. Warm us up with some word. I'm ready to give you some word. I'm going to throw down. Hey, Kimberly and Kimberly. We got the Kimberlys are here today. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Cindy from up there where it's really cold. And my Aunt Faye. I still call you Aunt Faye. Is that okay? Paxton's here and Carol's here and Jane's here and Toby Wax is here. I know it's Keller. I know. It says that on there. Must be your, maiden. We had a great day yesterday. At least I felt like we did at church. I talked about the fire of God. We're not going to talk about it today. Maybe next week. And I'm going to do a message on one of my from the Sunday before. And all these messages are available on our church Facebook page. You can go watch website. I just feel the presence of the Lord here today with me. I know I'm not alone. And I just love to worship the Lord and just sing praises. That's where I am. So why don't you guys sing with me? The song you probably already know. It's kind of a new one, but I love it. So true. He's worthy. Amen. How you guys doing today? Hope you're having a great day. That picture I had up at the beginning of the show in the roll in and roll out is my backyard today. It's snowing up here in Southwest Virginia, the southwestern tip, excuse me, of Virginia. I believe this is about the worst time I've ever had with sinus drainage in my whole life. And so thanks for your prayers. Hey, guys, good to see you. So thankful Jesus has brought me out of the more sin I had in my life. The mire, the mire, the mess. Good to see you guys on the show. I got a favor to ask you. Today's number 668. We're almost to 700 programs. I've got a request today. My cousin Brian Hager, Baptist pastor, Southern Baptist pastor down in North Carolina, somewhere near, where does they live? I'm trying to think right now. It'll come to me in a minute. Passed away last night at 9:25 from ALS. Young babies. He's got some young babies. I'm not sure how old he is, probably early 40s. And could you just do me a favor and pray for the family? tough times, and you know what, man? But heaven is brighter. He loved the Lord, and years ago gave his heart to Christ, and went to seminary, been involved in the ministry. And I just ask you guys to pray and lift him up, because his wife, has a huge transformation in her life, and his mom and dad. So just be praying for them and the babies and all those folks. And good to see you guys on the show. I see a bunch of you jumped in. I can't shout to all of you right now, but thanks for coming and joining us. We're talking about, I was in prayer a few weeks ago, and I heard the Lord say this. Don't tell Joy Behar, but I heard the Lord say something to me. He said, don't lose yourself in self. Don't lose yourself in self. So that's what I want to talk about this week. And this is probably going to be a combination of two messages, because at the end of the week, we're probably going to talk about selflessness and what it really looks like as a picture of the gospel. But I want to talk to you about don't lose yourself in self. Don't lose yourself in self. I want you to look around at your life just a minute. I want you to take a few minutes and look around your life. Just look around, and I want you to start thinking of faces, people's faces. The realization that none of us are in this process alone. We are not doing life alone. I'm not doing life alone. I have my wife and my kids and my parents and my brother and extended family and grandbabies and church. And, man, there's so many people in my life. I got to share with someone this morning. They were talking about worship and friendship and so many things. We are not doing this life alone. You don't get to do life alone. I mean, maybe there's a hermit somewhere in the mountains that lives by himself, but most of all of us do not do life alone. And here's the foundational passage I want to share with you for this week. It's in John 15:13. It says, greater love hath no man than this, that he prayed for himself and his family. Is that what it says? No, it doesn't say that. It says that he would lay down his life for his friends. Now, we know that Jesus was speaking of himself right there, because he was about to do that. And he was about to lay his life down for his friends. He called the disciples and the people that were around him his friends, because he was relational, was relational, and so relationship is important. And so we don't do this thing alone. And so here's what we find out. When we look at Jesus, we see great love and sacrifice and someone else. So the greatest love that we could ever see is a sacrificial love that does something for somebody else. Can you get that just for a minute, okay? The greatest love we could see is a sacrificial love that does something for somebody else. Greater love hath no man than this, than he laid down his life for a friend. And I know most of us, when we think about that, we think in terms of Jesus. Oh, that's right, brother. Jesus loved me so much, he gave up his life. But I want to think in terms of you and me. Are we people of great love? Are we people of great love? Are we the people that sacrifice for other people? You know, the name of this message when I preached at church was called Being Lost in Self. Jesus says also in John 15:12, here's something else he said. This is my commandment, that you love yourself. That's not what it says. This is my commandment, that you love one another. How? And he says, as I have loved you. Well, have you ever thought about how Jesus has loved you? Do you love people that way? Remember, the message is called Don't Lose Yourself in Self. So we find out the greatest love you could ever express is to make a sacrifice for somebody else. Because Jesus said, love each other like I love you. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. And what did he do? His great love sacrificed himself for others, his friends, as he would say. So this week, I want to take a little bit of time and talk to you about self. I want to talk to you about yourself. The title is Don't Lose Yourself in Self. And what does that mean? Well, I found something out about sinfulness. And it's not that I didn't know it already. Hey, Brian and Jane, Carolyn. It's not that I didn't know it already. I found something out about self, though. Or maybe it was illuminated, or maybe it was brighter, or maybe that I just understood it in a way maybe that I never really looked at it before. And let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question, just to kind of kick things off. How many of y'all just love selfish people? You just love them. You love to be around selfish people. You love those little babies at Christmas that go, mine, mine, and won't share. How many of y'all love that? I think most of you afar. Is that what I said? Stay afar from the fire, brother. Yeah, thank you, man. I guess you must have been listening. How many of you love selfish people? You just love them. You're just like, man, if I could just be around me some selfish people, give me a room full of selfish people. Nobody's like that. I mean, I want you to imagine life without selfish people. Not that I'm advocating getting rid of them, but I want you to think a little bit because we got to get some perspective here. How many of you could imagine life without selfish people? And I made a list of things here that we could look at. Imagine driving without selfish people. Hey, Donna. Imagine driving down the highway without selfish people. Could you imagine? Me and my wife took a trip recently, and all these nuts are trying to pass me on the right. Now, I'm right behind somebody who's right behind somebody who's right behind somebody. I can't go anywhere, but these guys come flying up. They're more important than the rest of us. They can't wait in line, and they got to try to cut in. It's one of my pet peeves. And my wife says I talk to people when I drive, and I do. I talk to people when I drive. I'm like, what are you doing over there, you crazy maniac? Imagine driving without selfish people. If people would just say, oh, let me get out of the way. Come on by. Have a great day. Can you imagine driving imagine shopping without selfish people. Imagine Walmart. Excuse me. Imagine Walmart on Black Friday without selfish people. You know, I'm going to get a drink of water, guys. Sorry. People have actually died in Walmart in those lines, got trampled. I mean, really? Seriously. I want you to think about selfishness a little bit. We're going to talk about it this week. The title of the message is, Don't Lose Yourself in Self. Don't lose yourself in self. And imagine holidays that you're around with all your family with nobody being selfish. Can you imagine how crazy? I don't want this. I didn't want this. It's not what I like. It's not my size, not my color. Like, really? Really? Can you not just accept it and be gracious? Imagine that. And here's what I want to close today talking a little bit about, which we will expound on tomorrow and Wednesday. I kind of started paying attention. And I'm not saying that I haven't paid attention before, but I kind of looked a little closer, and I came to a realization that most sin, if not almost all sin, self is at the center of it. And I can break that down for you. Talk about Adam and Eve. What did they do? They did something selfish. You know, God gives them the whole garden, and there's just one fruit, and God says, that's the one you can't have. And what do they say? Wait a minute, that's the one I want. It's for me. I want to taste it. Looks good. Looks good to my eyes. Looks delicious. I don't care what God said. I want it. I want it. That's that selfish thing that got us all in this trouble we're in. So selfish. How about this one? Cain and Abel. Why did Cain kill Abel? Because he was selfish. Because he was jealous over Abel. And what happened? What's at the center of jealousy? Anybody know? Self. Self is at the center of jealousy. I look at the 10 Commandments and I look at all the thou shalt nots, and how many of those deal with self? Don't do this to your neighbor. Don't lie about your neighbor. Don't covet your neighbor's stuff. Oh, that's about what? Don't kill. Oh, it's about me and myself and what I want. In spite of, I want you to die. I don't want you to live. That's the 10, thou shalt not kill. It's about self. Self is at the center. And can I just throw this in today as we close? It's all about me, all about my. Can I throw this in? I'm afraid to say it. I love you guys, and please, everybody get mad at me. I mean, don't anybody get mad at me. But I kind of believe sometimes that the church, the modern day church especially, has been the main promoter of self. That we have brought people in and begged them to put themselves first. That we fashion our services, our ministries. Everything's about me getting more and getting blessed and all these things. And you never hear anything about sacrificing for somebody else. I mean, yeah, there are churches that have giving. There are giving churches. There are churches that do benevolent things. But our whole theology has evolved into a self theology. I'm at the center of it, and everything is about me. And I want you to think about that. I want you to think about self. Let's take a quick look real quick as we close out today. Here's some things that you could maybe relate to in terms of self and sin. For example, what's at the center of pride? Self. And what's at the center of greed? Self. What's at the center of being offended? Offense. Self. What's at the center of lust? Self. What's at the center of strife? Self. What's at the center of control and manipulation? Self. I even said to the church, what's at the center of abortion? Self. What's at the center of hatred? Self. What's at the center of vengeance? Self. What's at the center of jealousy? I mean, we start looking and we find out that, wow, man, so much of what we call sin or is sinful comes out of self. So let's talk about that. Let's have that conversation this week. The Bible says the Lord said to me, don't lose yourself in self. The Bible says selfishness apparently leads to sinfulness. So, if we can do something about that, then maybe we can change the level of sinfulness in our life. Hey guys, good to have you on the show. Thanks for all your comments. You guys are thebomb.com. Tomorrow's number 669. We're about to hit 670. We're getting close to 700 programs. Hey, thanks for all the prayers for my family. Loss of my cousin, Baptist pastor in North Carolina, young man. Family needs prayer. Okay, guys, I love you guys. Have a great day. Be blessed. Have a good day. Don't be selfish. Don't you dare. I dare you. Don't do it. Thanks for all your comments, guys. You guys are so funny, so cool. Love you guys. Have a great day. You can share the show with somebody. Yeah, go over to the Lamplight Drama Easter show. Starts this Friday. Little advertisement for some friends. Thanks for the prayers, guys. Love you all. You guys are sweet. I'm out of here. That's going to be the end of it. That's going to be all for me. I'm going to be done. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be going. I'm going to be at 1. Do I hear 2? Do we have 3? 4? See you guys. Mucho blessings.